Alright, it's another Crash of the Titans, this time against Cloak and Dagger, and we're using the Runaways. It's kind of funny, the teenagers battling each other. Well, in the case of Cloak and Dagger, um, slightly older adults. But anyway, that's the theme here. So Cloak and Dagger, they're obviously a lot weaker with a 3-2-3 build. So between the two of them, they have 5 unique effects, one that they share together. So their their yellow ability. Well, actually, we're gonna start with the purple ability because it branches off into two things that that differentiate their yellow ability and their black ability. So let's start with purple and then work our way up. So the purple ability is called Pocket Dimension, and so it will cost 6 purple AP. It can be a little bit lower depending upon if there is enough black tiles on the board or enough yellow tiles on the board. So if it's with a cloak in front, then there's a certain amount of black tiles that you need on the board to make it to 3. And what it will do, it'll do damage to us and put Dagger out in front. And then it will need 6. We'll need yellow AP on the board for Dagger in order for them to switch to Cloak being out in front. I know it's kind of confusing, but it's a simple ability that the only thing that you need to know is whoever's out in front, just know you need um a color. You need a set amount of tiles on their board. On the board for them. If Cloak's out in front, you need black. You need a black tile. If Dagger's out in front, then you need a certain amount of yellow tiles. All right, and that's how they flip flop. Their yellow ability, if Dagger's out in front, uh, will heal the team. Well, will heal Cloak and Dagger. And also too, if there are not enough yellow tiles on the board, then she'll produce some number of yellow tiles on the board. Okay? If Cloak's out in front, then then the ability is called Light Knives, and what it'll do, it will do damage to the target and remove some number of strike, attack, and protect tiles for the enemy team. But if there are no strike, attack, and protect tiles for the enemy team, then it'll do damage to the entire team. Okay? Then their black ability, if Cloak's out in front, then you will create an attack tile on the board, depending upon however many black tiles are on the board. And if there's not enough black tiles on the board, then it will convert some number of tiles to black, and then the attack tile will of course be on red. It will convert a basic tile to red. Dang! Rest in peace to Bill Russell. This is what just got an alert on ESPN. So that's kind of a bummer as a Celtics fan. And then if Dagger's out in front, then then their ability becomes Darkness Approaches, and that costs 8 black AP. And what it'll do, it'll create a countdown tile on the board that will reduce the amount. It'll reduce the power set of a particular, let's say, of the character that they chose, by, I don't remember the exact amount of levels. It's like, I want to say at level 2, I want to say it reduces it to by 2 stages. So an example would be if you, is that since we're using Karolina Dean, like one of her abilities creates a so and so turn countdown tile. Instead of it being a 4-turn fortified countdown tile, it'll become like a 2-turn fortified countdown tile, or whatever the case might be. But it'll reduce the powers of the person, you know, that they target. And of course their affiliations are heroes. I'm pretty sure they're gonna probably have whenever they have the new affiliations, it'll be like street level or something like that. Alright, Karolina Dean. Now, the good thing about her powers aren't as complicated as Cloak and Dagger, so it should be able to fire through them rapid fire in about a minute and a half. Team Spirit, this costs 6. What it'll do, it'll create a 2-turn she'll create 2 projectiles on the board of the listed strength, and then if there's a runaway member on her team, and then it'll create an additional projectile. And then passively, whenever an ally is healed, Karolina improves the healing by the listed amount. At level 5, it'll be 35%, stronger projectiles, 1 extra projectile, and then another additional projectile created. Alright. Rising Sun, this costs 6. This is her blue ability. She creates a 3-turn fortified countdown tile that creates a projectile on the board, and then she'll generate blue AP whenever whenever it goes off, and then whenever she's airborne, the power becomes Sunset Strip. And what Sunset Strip will do, it'll create a projectile on the board as long as that countdown tile exists at the start of each turn, as long as she's airborne. And then if there happens to be 5 or more projectiles on the board, then the countdown tile will be removed. She'll convert some number of those projectiles to strike tiles, and then then you go from there. Alright, and then Solar Flare, this costs 8. This is a green ability. This will do team damage and will also heal if there are 2 or more special tiles on the board. Alright, so again, very, very simple power set for Karolina Dean. Of course, her affiliations are going to be heroes, runaways. Alright, so for a lesser equipped Karolina Dean, what you would want to do, you're going to be chasing, obviously, after blue to get airborne as often as you can. You're going to want to try and chase green so you can do team damage, and also give yourself a little bit of a heal. And then you're going to want to try and put out as many projectiles as you can with her yellow, but you primarily are going to be chasing after blue. So obviously team of tiles, boost blue purple, and then black green if you so choose, and then damage boost. Also too, if you happen to have Carol's Communicator, you make a match 4 or greater, that'll work with her. Taskmaster Sword, all the usual stuff. So here again, I'm just gonna run with team up boost, because again, team ups can't be used, and plus again the milestone. So do like how I always do. I'll let my gameplay do the talking. Well, I didn't even get a chance to even go airborne that whole entire fight, which I'm not gonna say it's rare that it happens, but on occasion it does. So where I normally don't, where I don't get enough AP to get airborne. So thanks Alliance for playing. As far as people to pair up with Karolina, well, two of her runaway partners are in the game, at least. Um, Gertrude and of course Nico. Uh, Nico will obviously create strike, attack, and protect tiles with her purple ability once blood is shed. And then of course with her yellow ability, like she'll create projectiles on the board as well. So of course with Nico, you do have to keep in mind that projectiles don't work with her. So while she's boosting the strength of all those projectiles that Karolina and herself will be using, or even the strike tiles that even her and Gertrude will be using, etc. She won't be able to take part in those benefits. But at least with the yellow ability, try not to die. It's like whenever she does heal, it's like Karolina will heal her, a little bit more. Then with Gertrude, remember Gertrude creates strike tiles. She creates um, trap tiles, and then of course with her prehistoric parent, as long as one of her teammates takes, damage in their current health pool, she'll create a strike tile and then a countdown tile. She'll create a countdown tile that'll improve um, strike, dagger, protect tile. So again, that's always a good thing. Then of course her red will give out, will deal damage and then create strike, strike tiles, and then of course clever claws, you know, selectable, basic tiles that can become traps. Like especially if you you know that there's a match 5 on the board that the AI has to take, line up all the tiles there, boom. And then of course you're gonna get additional damage for however many runaways that you have on your team. Well, including herself. So I mean it's a max of 3. So there you go. Um, then obviously a lot of projectile users. So Polaris is an option, though you kind of want to go airborne with Karolina. So there goes blue there. Battery Bill, again, he's an option there too, but again, you kind of want to go airborne with Karolina. Bill's blue is actually pretty good. As far as green goes, I mean, you got the option of healing or doing damage indiscriminately towards players on the enemy team. Cape Pride Marauders, actually, believe it or not, is actually a pretty solid partner for Karolina, because it's not only does she create projectiles on blue, anytime that you match away any of your projectiles or just special tiles on the board in general, as long as Kate's repeater is on the board, you're going to be doing damage. So that's an option there. Um, who else? But like those are two that come to mind real quick. Not so much Emma Frost, because again, I mean, she'll strengthen up some of your special tiles. But again, if you got Nico, who does it without the need of a repeater tile, sure. Not really Eddie Brock Venom. Not really Punisher Max, because again, you're going to be conflicted with blue, because either you want to go airborne, and then once you get enough projectiles on the board, they'll convert to strike tiles, which Punisher will be like, okay, those there become boosted. But again, as long as you got Nico, what's the point? And saying hers boost every turn. His is just a flat percentage. So hers will be going up more and more and more and more, whereas Frank's is just pretty much static. I mean, maybe you could run a war machine with the other two runaways, but then that's kind of eh. Oh, well, how can I forget about Captain Marvel? Duh. It's like, yeah, 4-star Carol. Because again, what is Carol like? Carol likes projectiles. What is both Karolina and Nico both produce? They both produce countdown tiles. It's like, and then also too, as long, so whenever Karolina is airborne and that countdown tiles on the board, she's gonna produce out protect tiles, then eventually strike tiles once you meet the threshold. And then what does Carol do? She's gonna be boosting those strike and protect tiles to a certain amount. Then Nico's gonna boost them up even more. So it's like every turn you're gonna get a boost with Nico as long as you have more than your opponent. And then Carol, every time one of those countdowns expire, is gonna send it up to the roof as well. So that's all I got here as far as as far as Carolina Dean goes. Oh well, speaking of one runaway, we're gonna be using old Gertrude in the next Crash of the Titans. So I know hers is brand new, so I don't know who she's going to be facing off against. But we'll get an opportunity to use her. Season has started, so there's old Gertrude's pet there being stalked by Craven. For those who are unaware, the new Chasm Ben Riley is in the game, so chase after him, but wait until he gets into to tokens closer towards the end. Well, I think it's the middle of August. I'm gonna look at the calendar and my calendar and see real quick, and then we'll go from there. So it'll probably be like somewhere between the 25th of August. That sounds about right, because the season will end on the 18th of August, and he'll be there on the 25th. So that sounds about right. That's if my my math is right. Sometimes I have to double check my work. Then of course, Jane Foster Thor, she appeared in tokens last Thursday with the start of the season. So for those who want to get her, Shuma Garath, and Kamala Khan, this is that you got 20 some odd days to do so. Well, thereabouts at least. And then of course, Gore the God Butcher also entered tokens too, because again, the 4-star character and the 5-star character both appear at the same time whenever the season starts. So there you go. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me. I'm gonna work on my Deadpool daily, knock all this here out the way, and we're gonna we'll call it from there. So I'll be back. We'll be back soon with another video. Don't know what it's going to be. It'll probably be another Crash of the Titans video, because I highly doubt I'm gonna be doing PvP videos at least this week, because yeah, I don't want to deal with Adam Warlock on camera. So yeah, be excellent to your fellow human beings. I'll catch everybody in the next video. Peace.